The Bad Batch Season 2 episodes 7 and 8 were two of the best we've had so far, arguably the best of the entire series. Themes of clone rights, the cruelty and injustice of the Empire, and of course, Palpatine improvising at the last minute, bending everything to his will. He's always 2 steps ahead. But did you know these 2 episodes tease some major aspects of Andor Season 2, which is currently filming both here in the UK as well as Valencia, Spain? Almost everything about these episodes felt right out of Andor, including some of the character choices and their struggles in the Senate. Let's break down each component and how they relate to the upcoming second season of Andor. Let's begin with the main one, Riyo Chuchi. I'm not the first person to point out how similar she is to Mon Mothma. I mean, sure, she's not going through the same financial struggles and family issues, but she's also a rebel senator trying to fight within the system, the Imperial Senate. She's also an ally to Bail Organa as Mon Mothma is, and both of them work behind the scenes to oppose unjust legislation. In the case of Senator Chuchi, this is clone rights, and with Mon Mothma, as we'll see more in Season 2, but was also teased in the first, is the Gorman massacre, which is yet to take place, but she's pushing for Gorman rights, and when the massacre takes place in 2BBY, this is a defining reason for her to leave the Senate. Now, I've seen some fans suggest we might see Riyo in live action, but if her movement is pro-clone rights, by 4BBY, she would have more or less lost. She might still appear if she's alive and be part of the early rebellion, but I've got a bad feeling she's going to meet her end before then. Her message of hope in fighting a tyrannical system is in line with Mon Mothma and the various rebels of the Andor show, but she's most similar to Mon in her composed demeanour and non-aggressive approach to dealing with the issues and trying to solve things peacefully, opposing the various forms of rebel anarchy. Having said that, both characters turn to direct action and breaking rules as a last resort, usually through allies and acquaintances, be they Luthen, Vel, or in the case of Riyo Chuchi, Clone Force 99. But in the case of Mon Mothma further down the timeline, this would be a downfall when she refused to militarize the New Republic. But at this very early stage years prior, their courage and approach is admirable. The second way the Bad Batch felt like Andor was with its inclusion of 2 familiar senators, Bail Organa and Tynra Pamlo. Both appear in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story later in the timeline and are part of the early rebellion, the Rebel Alliance. In the case of Pamlo, it was so great to hear Sharon Duncan Brewster once again, who portrayed the character in live action in 2016, and who I think is almost certainly a character they'll bring back for Andor Season 2. Tony Gilroy spoke of the importance of Yavin 4 and the Rebel base, and Pamlo is vital to the fight against the Empire. Pamlo also has ties to Princess Leia, Bail Organa's adoptive daughter. In 3BBY, Pamlo attended Leia Organa's Day of Demand. This was the 16th anniversary of Leia's name day, when she officially became monarch of Alderaan. When the Day of Demand ceremony was over, Queen Breya, who we recently saw in the Kenobi show, took the hands of Pamlo, thanking her for her presence. Pamlo also appeared at several dinner parties at the Royal Palace on Alderaan. She had very good relations with the Organas, so when Alderaan was inevitably destroyed, she probably mourned a great loss. And the most important connection between these 2 shows, say it with me, Granddaddy Palps, Emperor Palpatine himself. When Andor was airing, Denise Gough, who plays Dedra Meero, mentioned that within the Empire, no matter who you're working for, ultimately your boss is Palpatine. He oversees everything, and Rampart is among so many examples of Palpatine using people as cogs in his machine. He doesn't care, he will always win, and unlike Andor, the Bad Batch Season 2 actually showed us Mas Amedda and Palpatine. But the brilliance of Andor's writing is that Palpatine's presence can be felt without him even being there, whether it's by name drop from Yularen or Mon Mothma, or through his draconian extension of prison sentences and other harsh policies. But in the Bad Batch we're reminded of who calls the shots in this galaxy, and you could even argue that the hopelessness he brings, the brutality of order and authority, contrasts with the hope that senators like Riyo and Mon have. And this reminds me of Maarva's speech and also Nemik's manifesto, but with Maarva, she highlights something we see in the Bad Batch, the galaxy being oblivious to Palpatine's plans. They were all sleeping. Here is a relevant quote from her speech. "There is a wound that won't heal at the center of the galaxy. There is a darkness reaching like rust into everything around us. We let it grow and now it's here. The Empire is a disease that thrives in darkness." Perhaps it's too late, but I'll tell you this. If I could do it again, I'd wake up early and be fighting these bastards from the start. Fight the Empire. There is a thread within these shows, whether it's the Bad Batch Season 2 or Andor, and even aspects of the Kenobi show. Those who are fighting the Empire know there is a great risk of loss, but they try anyway. Now with all of this Andor talk and how the Bad Batch is building up a lot of its themes, I can't help but wonder if they're teasing Omega's future. In these episodes, she learnt how brutal politics can be, and how unjust the galaxy is. And I don't know if you noticed, but her passion seemed to grow as episode 8 went on. She's angry the clones don't have representation. She tells Riyo that clones are part of this galaxy too. I wonder if by the time of 4BBY, which is where Andor Season 2 picks up, 15 years from now, she'll become a rebel and one day reunites with Hera. Now over on StarWars.com they've actually given us episode guides for the first half of Season 2, so episodes 1 to 8. Now I want to go through them and we'll see some of the trivia and also look at some of the concept art. So let's begin with the trivia gallery for episode 7. Now in this episode guides they do actually talk about connections with Rogue One and Andor, notably the design of the Senate, and if you notice Bail Organa is in exactly the same position that Mon Mothma was in Andor Season 1. I really hope he appears in Season 2, it makes complete sense, and maybe we'll also hear about more Fulcrum. Here they mention Tyra Pamlo, the senator representing her homeworld of Taris. There's a planet we don't know too much about, but if you read the Leia book Princess of Alderaan, you do know a little bit about it. And of course, Senator Riyo Chuchi first appeared in the first season of the Clone Wars. Her design for the Bad Batch is more intricate, more complex, there's a lot more expression on her face, but a lot of fans do note the character design has changed a little bit. I really love this senator, and as I say, it would be awesome if she makes an appearance in live action, but I wouldn't count on it. A lot of these characters are designed just for animation. We see some of these clone troopers who are about to be phased out as part of the Defense Recruitment Bill, and they're going to be replaced with Imperial Stormtroopers. As Palpatine said, this is a new era for the galaxy. The Martez sisters' home is where Captain Rex and Riyo Chuchi interrogated the clone assassin, who by the way now has a name. His name is Clone X. So really awesome stuff. I want to now focus on episode 8, Truth and Consequences, but instead of the trivia gallery, I want to take a look at the concept art. Here we have Halle Bertoni by Vivian Lai, and she's a Kaminoan who appeared in the Clone Wars seasons 2 and 3. She's got a very funny personality, a disgraced senator, as Admiral Rampart called her, former senator of Kamino. Due to her expertise of military spending on her now destroyed homeworld, she is asked by Chuchi and Omega what happened to the funds that were diverted by the Empire. And here we have more designs for Palpatine, Darth Sidious. This concept art is by Blaine Burgos. I thought the way Palpatine rose from the podium was so epic. The intense music, everyone was stunned in silence. They all knew he is the main boss. He calls the shots in this galaxy, and you don't mess with him, always 2 steps ahead. Here we have the data disk, the Coruscant lower level turbine, and some of these Coruscant shots were just absolutely outstanding. Riyo Chuchi's apartment, very similar to Padme's, again it's got its own unique design. I think this concept art with the 2 Pantoran guards is impressive. Omega with her poncho, we always love ponchos in Star Wars. So share your thoughts in the comments down below guys, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.